Hello and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Poverty Inspires Me, the podcast. I hope you're having a blessed and fantastic day from wherever you're at in the world. And if you're not, you should. I mean, you might be able to think of reasons of why you shouldn't. But on the flip side of that, if you can think of reasons of why you shouldn't, then likewise you should be able to think of reasons of why you should. Well, you might say, well, I'm not finding any reasons of why I should. And I would probably challenge you to say, well, the answer is in the question. And then they're going to look at me perplexed and say, what do you mean? How is the answer in the question? I can't find anything. I have no reason, no purpose. I feel hopeless. I'm lost. I can't find anything. And once again, I'll say the answer is in the question. The ability to question the fact that you're looking for something. Let's look at what that means. Well, first of all, it means that you have the capacity of thought, reasoning. You have the intelligence of decision making. You have the awareness to ask the question. You have the inquisitive nature to want to search for an answer. But what's stopping you from doing it? I just showed you how your negative answer is full of powerful characteristics and qualities of development. So what's stopping you? What is it? Let's approach this from a more logical perspective. Maybe you were born into poverty. Maybe you didn't have nothing. And so for not having anything, you decide that you're not worth much or that things come very hard. Or maybe on the flip side, you grew up very poor and it sparked a hunger inside of you to change that for yourself, for your future. Did you know statistically most very wealthy people started out poor? Generational wealth, as we like to think about it, is not as prevalent as we may have thought. The entrepreneurs of today's world often started from nothing. They come from the worst environments and circumstances sometimes you could imagine. And I don't mean that they're living in slums on dirt floors. Maybe they battle very hard depression. Maybe they are very introverted, but they have a great talent to things. You know, we don't know. We only know what we see. So if we only know what we see, does that mean that that's everything that's known? Well, obviously the answer is no. That would be dumb to think like that. But to think with the limited mind is to think exactly like that. I'm so and so and I'm such and such and I'm from this place that this is where I'll be. Oh, I'm so driven because I don't want to be that. There's always power in knowing what you don't want. Everybody pretty much could identify things they don't want. And they could probably say with a lot of power and enthusiasm behind it. They could reminisce on memories of when they used to get government cheese and how it tasted so good. I remember that. My sis remembers that. You know, how food stamps used to be made of paper and we used to count them just to make sure we had enough so we could eat. And then not any real consciousness of the food that we're eating, because we're just trying to stay alive, just trying to make it to another day. Where was the wealth in that story? I believe the wealth in that story is in the appreciation, in the gratitude, in the noticing of the opportunities in front of you. Because without hate, there's no love. Without up, there's no down. Without left, there's no right. Without you, there's no me. It's all connected. But why is this separate? Why is an intellectual mind capable of reason, thought, and introspection, as I mentioned in the beginning, why does a capable mind cut itself off from other capable minds? I mean, wouldn't it make more sense for a united mind to attack a problem? You ever heard this term, four eyes is better than two? Is that so? What if you had glasses on? Would your 4 eyes make you better visually? How would they work if somebody was trying to punch you in the eye? You see, everything has a flip side to it. A perspective of sort. And our consistency to this perspective is consistently creating our reality. What we see, the experiences, the people, the places, the things. To us, they're just part of our experience, part of our reality, part of what we do, of who we are. So that intellect has separated us from other people. What we deem good and righteous is like cutting the umbilical cord to your fellow human being. And now the world becomes about me. But me may have a story that it wants and that it's yearning for. Because me, it doesn't know what me is supposed to do. How many of us are out there not knowing what the fuck we're supposed to do? But if we could just step back from that thought and look at the worry itself and see the power in introspection, in worry, in fear, in fire. You see, you got to be hungry. Not hungry in the physical manner, but you got to be hungry and inquisitive spiritually. And you might say, whoa, where is this going? I thought I just tuned into a podcast to, talk about habits and perspectives and how I can become better and poverty. And now we're talking about spirit. I'm losing you. Sometimes I lose my own thought process because it's talking to me all the time. Just like it's talking to you. Commentating what I'm saying. Wondering what it's going to do next. Listening, but not listening. Your mind is ever present. But is your mind and my mind ever really any different? You might have different attachments to a sad event, but your sadness and my sadness is sadness. You might have a different attachment to an angry event, but your anger and my anger are both anger and love. And I could go on and on. But when we separate ourselves from one another, we cut that attachment to be able to see that there's nobody else. Because everybody needs everybody else. Imagine being in this world all by yourself. Running around and beating this world all by yourself. Might be fun for how long? Day? Until all of a sudden it gets really fucking creepy that you're the only one alive? Wouldn't you want just to see another person? Just to be in their presence? But you have the opportunity every day to influence somebody else, to give to somebody else in your unique talent. And what the fuck are you doing? Wondering, what am I going to do? I don't know. In the wondering is the answer to your question if you only look. I think the same things. That's why it's easy for me to come up here and say these things. You know how long I've been making a podcast, how many books I've written, how many things I've done to try, how many businesses I've started and failed, how many half successes I've ever had in my life. But yet here I am, talking to you, telling you to keep going, but keep going with conscious awareness of the game you're playing, and give what you want to receive. Give a smile. Don't cost you nothing. Give a kind heart when you're driving down the street and you feel like flipping somebody off. Find ways of controlling your state. 10-minute wisdom. 10-minute wisdom. Because in 10 minutes, if I could plant a seed, you can grow and water it. I hope you have a blessed and a fantastic day. And I might need to make this 20-minute wisdom segments because the 10 minutes is running kind of short. But I want to stick to plan. I want to stay focused, consistent. I want to give value where it belongs. Until next time, have a blessed and fantastic day.